In the south of the continent, South African Minister of Home Affairs, Aaron, says he is taking his appeal to the Supreme Court after he lost an application to appeal against the judgment that required him to go back to the drawing board on the Zimbabwean Exemption Permits regime. Now, the High Court in Pretoria ruled on Monday that his application for leave to appeal had no reasonable prospects of success. The court found crucial to determining whether there were prospects to a successful appeal was the quality of the evidence before the court on what the minister had taken into account when he made the decision to terminate the ZEP permits, which allows about 178,000 permit holders to lawfully be in South Africa. The court also rejected the argument by the minister's legal team that his decision was not subject to review under the Promotion of Administrative Justice Act. And of course, joining me on the news right now is Mbuto Mabena, the Executive Director, African Diaspora Forum from Johannesburg. Thank you so much for your time.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you. Greetings to you and to your viewers.
All right, thank you. Now, let's get straight to it. Just for the benefit of our viewers, can they give us a brief background on the ongoing battle regarding the Zimbabwe Exemption Permits in South Africa, and what were the reasons behind the Home Affairs Minister wanting to stop the Zimbabwe Exemption Permits?
According to the Minister of Home Affairs, he argues that the special permits are not in the Immigration Act. They cannot, Zimbabweans cannot continue to be under special arrangement for the rest of their lives. He says he wanted to move them to a better arrangement which is governed by an act of parliament. You will know that these permits were issued in 2010, renewed in 2014, renewed in 2017, but on the 25th of November 2021, government then announced that it will discontinue with these permits. So the High Court then on the 28th of June 2023 ruled that the process was not fair in terms of the consultation on the impact this ruling by the cabinet was going to have on holders of the Zimbabwe Exemption Permits and their children who are school going, and ruled that it was unconstitutional. So the minister then went to seek leave to appeal, which of course was then rejected, that it does not have prospects to for him to win in the Supreme Court. So this is the background of the Zimbabwe Exemption Permits in brief.
Now, let's talk about rights and, of course, privileges do Zimbabweans permit holders currently have in South Africa. I mean, what are they? And also, are there any concerns about the potential impact of Zimbabwean citizens residing in South Africa if the appeal is successful?
Well, holders of Zimbabwe Exemption Permits, before they were placed on these special permits, they were exploited by their employers. They were not paid in line with the minimum wage as determined by government. They were exploited. So when they received these special permits, they were able to negotiate better wages and better working conditions with their employers. They were able to open bank accounts. In the past, people will ask relatives who were documented to open bank accounts for them. So if these permits are no longer renewed, and if the minister would have succeeded and the majority of the holders of ZEP would not be able to have documents, it means that first, the financial institutions are going to close down their accounts and people are going to have challenges in terms of accessing their monies. It means that people will now be working what we term illegal and prone to arrest by the authorities. And these Zimbabweans that are working in South Africa who are holders of ZEP, they support their families back in Zimbabwe. So it means that this lifeline, the economic support to their families would certainly come to an end. So we are happy, though, that the courts have ruled in this manner. What this means for us is not really victory, but it is a relief, because the Department of Home Affairs is taking time to adjudicate on those applications that are before them for people to move to other visas.
All right, now finally, before I let you go, in the event that the appeal is unsuccessful, what alternatives or options are available for Zimbabwe permit holders in South Africa? And also, what steps are being taken to streamline the process and ensure the stability and protection of Zimbabwe permit holders in South Africa moving forward?
What government has already done is that holders of the Zimbabwe Exemption Permits should move to mainstream visas. So they are currently applying for waivers. Ordinarily, you will not have a domestic worker getting a work permit outside the special visa. But under this arrangement is that if you prove that you work in South Africa, you are on a Zimbabwe Exemption Permit, you will be assisted to move to a mainstream visa, which of course now will be a general working visa, which will be able to renew after the period that they will have given you, say 4 years. So this is what is happening. But of course, as I'm saying, that it's a slow process in terms of adjudicating. People who have applied in 2022 for waivers and for general visas, others have not received, others are receiving. So that's the kind of dilemma. And the fact that the sticker itself shows that the permit expired in 2021, people are now having difficulty in terms of accessing other services. So we wish that they will speed up the process so that people will have their permits.
All right, Mabena, thank you so much for your time.
The pleasure is mine.